Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
The nearly 2-month-long Black Jewel protest came to an end last week, but actions attorneys and lawyers are making in a West Virginia courtroom are far from over. Earlier today, we learned that negotiations between the miners' representation and Black Jewel have not worked. Now the court intervenes as mediation begins. But what does this mean for the nearly 1,100 miners impacted? Well, I was at a meeting today where that same question was addressed. It's meetings like this that have become a familiar feel for attorney Ned Pillersdorf.
This has gone on too long.
Explaining to a group of miners, this time in Leslie County, the most recent updates in the Black Jewel saga.
This has been going on since July, and time is the enemy of the Black Jewel miners.
Negotiations will now move to mediation. A federal magistrate is now involved. Pillersdorf says he usually sees success in this, but the situation with Black Jewel is far from normal.
However, this certainly is not a typical case. This case has a lot of moving parts and a lot at stake.
One of those moving parts is the hot goods order concerning the coal sitting on the tracks. The coal the miners blocked for 59 days. The government essentially stated the more than $1 million in coal couldn't leave Cumberland. Originally, that helped the miners.
While we appreciate their efforts on behalf of the miners, it's had the unintended consequence of basically bringing the bankruptcy hearing to a screeching halt.
Black Jewel's bankruptcy case has slowed due to this. The hot goods will likely be a topic discussed during mediation.
What comes next, no telling.
As the case progresses, there are certainly ideal outcomes for the miners.
If there's successful mediation, this is over sooner rather than later. The bankruptcy gets resolved. Hopefully the mines reopen, the miners go back to work, and we get them a compensation package. But you never know.
The mediations will be private, and they will begin on October 15th. Well, officials believe a Floyd County man found unresponsive in his home was dead days before they arrived. Investigators are trying to figure out who murdered 63-year-old Paul Fultz. Troopers with Kentucky State Police found him dead at his home in the Bronhams Creek area Friday. Some neighbors tell us now they are looking to move. Jesse Taylor says this crime is hard to comprehend.
It's so scary. I mean, you see it every day on the news, but it doesn't hit you until it's at home.
Officials do not know how Fultz died. We are waiting on autopsy results. If you have any information leading on this case, you can call Kentucky State Police Post 9 at 606-433-7711. All tips are anonymous. Well, police in Perry County are looking for 2 escaped inmates. These 2 men, Carl Engel and John Miller, broke out of the Kentucky River Regional Jail Sunday night when they assaulted a deputy and stole his keys. This marks the second time in the last 3 months that inmates escaped from the jail by running through the front doors.
We're doing steps in the jail today to make sure that this does not happen again. There is some movement taking place within the big cells, the male cells, and we're doing some flipping of cells to where we're going to have some other inmates actually switching the males and females cells is what we're doing.
They are also changing the locks and removing the need for keys. Well, police at the University of Kentucky reported a rape that happened on campus yesterday. They say it happened at a residence hall. As of now, no one has been arrested, but the case remains under investigation. Well, a football banner is at the center of a controversy in central Kentucky. Take a look at this video posted to the Anderson County High School Facebook page. You can see the banner the football team ran through Friday night ahead of its game with Lincoln County. It reads, quote, "Make America Great Again, Trump those Patriots." The banner is raising questions on whether the school was making a political statement. The ACLU says it is looking into the situation. A post on the Anderson County Schools Facebook page says the banner was part of the football game's patriotic theme, which was the end of Anderson County's Homecoming Spirit Week. The school says it was not intended to be taken politically. Well, Martin County's fight for clean, affordable water made its way to Frankfort today. Stories of the county's dirty, unsafe water has made national headlines dozens of times over the past several years, but it's been over the past several months that the price for that water has increased. twice. That's according to a report from the Appalachian Citizens Law Center and the Martin County Concerned Citizens. They say that's unacceptable.
Of the 70 citizens that I have tested their water, 2 of those use their water for cooking or drinking. And so that's what it's like in Martin County.
As part of their report, the group is voicing 5 demands for leaders. Some of those include no more rate increases and direct funding from grants towards the most immediate needs. Well, we just lived through one of the driest Septembers on record, and today marked the 4th day in a row of record-breaking heat. Temperatures are now almost 20 degrees above average. Locals tell us they are ready for summer weather to come to an end, and workers for the Housing Development Alliance say the heat actually takes a toll on their bodies and delays construction projects.
When it cools off, we tend to get a lot more done because you don't have to break that much. But if you don't take breaks, it's hard on your body.
The drought also kicks up dust at construction sites, making it hard to breathe. About 3 inches of rain is supposed to fall in September. There's only been a trace this year in Jackson.
And as Connor just said, we keep breaking records. Today marks the 4th day in a row where we have broken the record high temperature. We hit a high of 94 at Jackson today. That broke the record of 85 set back in 1986. 92 was the high in London, which broke the record of 87. That was set back in 1971. Temperatures still on the warmer side as we head into those overnight hours. Upper 70s, lower 80s if you're looking into parts of Richmond, Jackson, Prestonsburg. Lower 70s if we're looking down into the Cumberland Valley. We saw a few stray rain chances earlier this afternoon, but as we head into those overnight hours, we will continue to see those drier conditions. It did not get any rain at Jackson, which marks 33 days without rain. If you remember, that broke the record of 25. That was set back in 2005 and 1991. So most of us dropping into the upper 60s tonight with those mostly clear skies. And as we head into the next really several days, we'll continue those 90 degrees as we head into October. Overall, a dry work week, but I promise a big cool down is on the way. I'll have that and more coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right, thanks, Paige. Well, since the federal farm bill last year, growing hemp in Kentucky has become the new gold rush for farmers. The Kentucky Department of Agriculture says there are more than 978 licensed growers in the state right now. More and more farmers are looking to grow the crop, hoping its profit margin will make up for what has been lost in the tobacco patch. New at 11, how one 8th generation farmer is hoping a new facility will help growers get those crops to market and see a better return.
This is where my heart is.
8th generation farmer Brian Furnish is busy these days. If he's not on his phone fielding calls, he's where he's most at home in the actual field, mowing down one crop to get ready for the next. Furnish cut his teeth on tobacco, but his fields now are full of another crop set to hopefully take its place in Kentucky.
Because tobacco is on its way out. No matter what we say about tobacco, less people in the world consume tobacco every day.
In his 6th year of growing hemp on his Harrison County farms, Furnish and his brothers have taken what they know about tobacco and applied it to hemp.
We've done everything from grow it for seed, for fiber, for cannabinoid production.
We first introduced you to Furnish last July when we toured his state-of-the-art processing plant producing CBD, but Furnish says the market is so much bigger for growers.
Everybody's talking about CBD and cannabinoids. The future of hemp is not CBD. The future of hemp is fiber and food. These little buds, that's all just developed in the last week.
That's good news for this lifelong Harrison County farmer. You name it, Mac Darnell has grown it.
My son and I farm about 250 acres. We do soybeans, corn, tobacco, and cattle.
Hemp, though, is changing the game and the future of what Darnell's farm may look like.
The appeal of that hemp, the profit margin on the hemp sounded really good, so next year we're going to apply for a license and do that ourselves.
It's one thing to grow it, but what about getting it to market and seeing that profit? At about $3 a plant and hundreds of acres, it costs money to make money. But then what? That's where Furnish hopes to help new farmers like Darnell.
So you got a lot of farmers out here who have hemp in the field, and they've not received any money for it. Now they're getting ready to harvest it. They have no money to harvest it with, and they don't know what to do with it.
In December, Furnish will reopen this warehouse, once home to the Burley Co-op for tobacco, as a new hemp grower service center outside Cynthiana. It's meant to make the marketing process easier for both sellers and buyers.
What we're trying to do is offer an alternative that we'll bring the hemp in, we'll process it, get it into a good form that we can sell it all over the world.
While the Kentucky Hemp Service Center won't pay money on the spot, it will serve as the middleman.
Well, there's plenty of brands out here that need a home. They need green material to fill their brands, because it's difficult if you have an international brand right now of filling up what the consumers want.
The center will help get a grower's processed crop to the right buyer and company. It's relief to new growers like Mac Darnell.
You know, it gives me a little ease of mind knowing that, you know, I'm going to have a place to market the hemp when we grow it.
Hemp was once king in Kentucky, and while Furnish admits it's a bit of a gold rush now,
I have a mission in life to help farmers.
And maybe it's why it's just as important to grow them as it is a successful crop.
Because you've got little nuggets.
So far this year, farmers in Kentucky planted more than 50,000 acres of industrial hemp. The Kentucky Hemp Service Center should be open by December 1st and is considered the first of its kind. Well, the Letcher County Circuit Court clerk is honoring local organ donors in a special way. A hero wall is now dedicated in their honor, and it was unveiled today. The faces of organ donors and organ recipients are on the wall in the Circuit Court clerk's office. Many families of those who died and donated their organs attending the unveiling today.
Yes, my brother's picture is on the wall, and it looks amazing, and I hope all the Letcher Countyans, when they come in, they can see that, you know, actually somebody from Letcher County, you know, was a donor and touched so many people's lives.
Circuit Court Clerk Mike Watt says now 19% of Letcher County is registered as organ donors. Close to 200 people registered at the Mountain Heritage Festival this weekend. Well, the soft openings for Five Below and Kohl's brought people to London this morning. Soft openings started on Sunday, and this morning people were once again lined up outside the door waiting to get inside. Shoppers say they are hoping that businesses continue to be drawn to London, as several businesses have announced they are opening, and officials say more are on the way.
It's amazing. Hopefully it continues to grow, and we continue to grow, and we're like Lexington.
The grand opening for Five Below will be Friday at 10 a.m. and the grand opening for Kohl's will be Saturday morning at 8:30. Well, from the airwaves to the Hall of Fame, for 38 years, WMDJ has served the people of Floyd County, and one of its co-founders has worked hard to make sure the station is there for the community it serves. Though he says he does not do it for the recognition, he is getting it anyway. WYMT's Buddy Forbes tells us why.
Do you know how much rain we've had in September? Zero.
Dale McKinney has spent more than 40 years on the local airwaves.
It was always a passion of mine. It was always a dream of mine to be in radio.
A dream the Floyd County broadcaster brought daily to the community.
My dream has been radio, and my dream has been to serve the people. It's all about people.
Now he is receiving recognition he never expected.
I never imagined, I never dreamed, I never actually gave it a thought. I was completely blindsided by it.
Next month, McKinney will be inducted into the Kentucky Broadcasters Association's Hall of Fame.
A culmination of 40 years of work and dedication and effort, and something I'm very proud of and something I'm very humbled by.
And he will be accepting the honor in good company.
To be going into the Hall of Fame the same night with Marty Brennaman is just beyond my wildest dreams or expectations.
McKinney worked with the now former play-by-play voice for the Cincinnati Reds during the years.
He's the real deal. He's very personable. He's very real.
And being honored at the same time is like a home run.
If you want to be successful in life, go at things with a passion and enthusiasm.
Success like this, he says, is something you work for.
Passion and enthusiasm will get you around the bases.
Not something you wait for. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The awards ceremony is scheduled for October 14th in Florence, Indiana.